Sheikh Uthman was never the same after this moment. Avery, the boy, cooked him.
My question then would be, could Muhammad or even Noah or any of the other prophets count as being messiahs?
So Islamically, yes, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, because he had the Suhuf,
They're not messiahs, though.
Isa, Jesus, Ibn
It's only
Maryam,
one.
and those are all Rusul, and you can call them in that sense messiahs as well.
No.
Okay, so you
like that,
can call
brother.
the other prophets messiahs.
Why not?
So why aren't
No.
they called messiahs?
They are.
Why not? He said, "Why?" He said, "Sure, why not?" They're not. So why aren't they called? They are, he says.
And what do you mean they're not?
I don't think he's read it.
So Muhammad, Noah, and these other prophets, they're called
never-
messiahs?
You could call them messiahs if you like. I mean,
No.
what do you mean they're not?
There is nowhere else in the Quran or any hadith, to our knowledge, where anyone else besides Jesus is identified as the Messiah in Islam. True.
Not called.
So nowhere do we only find Jesus being identified as the Messiah
Where?
in the Quran and the Hadith.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So go to 1 Corinthians for me, chapter 2.
Go for it. Here you go.
You don't
He
know
doesn't know where it
man?
is.
You gotta- all right, go to it, man.
I was just trying.
He likely thought Corinthians was Chronicles, so started going to the Old Testament.
Help you?
Wrong way, man. You gotta go the other way. Corinthians in the New Testament, Sheikh.
I got you. Relax.
don't- he
We've gone
doesn't
over
know.
Corinthians many a time.
All right, good. You should know where it is.
That was funny. For anyone who doesn't know what happened in the follow-up, I don't even think I saw that. I think I saw one of the follow-up videos that was discussing. Matter of fact, I think it was the DCCI video. They were discussing Sheikh Uthman's response, where he was supposedly bringing a hadith where other people can be called messiahs, and it was actually a footnote or something like that. And so his defense, I guess, was, "Oops,
Just a
he made a
footnote.
mistake." When
Yeah.
if you talk to Sheikh Uthman, he's doing this all the time. He's constantly, he's one of the people, and this is just very common for lots of people. The idea seems to be, say whatever you need to say in the moment to win your point, even
what
if it
it
can be
is.
totally refuted
100% this is the way I've seen the operation is.
later on. Just hope that no one bothers to actually come in and point out that you were misrepresenting things. And this is the reason it would be common for someone like Sheikh Uthman, is that video is pretty recent for him to be focusing on. For years, he's just doing dawah. And if you got people coming up to you on the street, you're not going to see or at a park, you're not going to see most of these people again. So you can kind of say whatever you want, right? You can just make things up all you.
And it's like also I've seen like it's like a reliance on ignorance. They hope for the person, the prey, dare I say, the prospect. they hoping that they're ignorant enough to be able to bamboozle them into saying things about Islam, which actually Islam is not. You know, it doesn't. It actually opposes it, especially with women, and you know, you can beat your wife and stuff like that.
Need to. And so looks like he was thinking, oh, here's a guy and I can make something up, and oh, he came back, but this guy's not going to know any better, so I can say whatever I want, I can make things up. And then he got busted for it, and oops, my bad. And so it's a situation where there are only two possibilities. Either he knew what he was doing, he was deliberately deceptive, he was deliberately lying, or he's incredibly ignorant of, I mean, if you can't tell the difference between a hadith and a footnote, you got some problems there. All right, so what are your thoughts on God logic apologetics?
Yeah, well, just briefly to add to what you said about the
And it's also like them footnotes seem to explain away the difficult situation that they find themselves in the hadith itself. So they, you know, memorize the footnote more than the actual hadith, because the footnote actually glazes the what the words are being said, when in fact it's not. You just have to read it. That's what you have to do.
note controversy. So Avery, that's God Logic's actual name. He went back then the next week. Uthman, even though he said, I'll bring you multiple books, he brings them a single piece of paper that he printed out. And what he did is he combined a hadith and a footnote in Arabic, but the Arabic portion that he claimed was Messiah was actually a typo. And
It's classic.
actually didn't even say Messiah.
Oh, wow.
It said beautiful Sharia is what it said. And there was a typo that made it look like it's...
No, there's no escaping from it. And be honest with yourself if you're Muslim like that. There is no one in the Quran mentioned as the Messiah except the Holy One, the sinless one, Christ. That's the only one. That's it.
said Messiah, and he claimed that it was a proof of what he had said, even though the Hadith had absolutely nothing to do with the Messiah. The footnote, if you actually read it,
it's
he
ridiculous.
surely knew that it was talking about.
You know, it's a ridiculous claim to say Noah, Moses, all of them are messiahs as well. It's, do you understand? It's, you know, again, you got to sort of give some slack because these people are lack of understanding. But again, you got to rein them in because it's dangerous, because they're influencing people into a path which is incorrect. You know what I mean? And that has to be called out.
The Sharia law.
And again, that's something that you can do just by asking Sheikh Uthman questions. Again,
what's going on, my brother Dragon? I hope you're doing well. Tacos for breakfast, he said. Savage life.
Natural inclination is to say whatever I need to say. So think about the situation here, ladies and gentlemen. The underlying problem is that Jesus is identified as Messiah, and the Islamics they have no clue what this means. They have no clue what this means, right? So why is Jesus the Messiah? What is different about him? And you can make something up, right? You can make something up about the word Messiah and say, aha, this is why Jesus is the unique Messiah. Or you can say, well, yeah, other people can be Messiahs too. In which case, you got to defend that.
You got two ways. You got one or the other, and it's really sad. For me, I would always choose truth and just see what the text says and go, yeah, that's what this, true.
Point. And looks like Sheikh Uthman has earned his name Sheikh Ibn Fibbin, because again, ladies and gentlemen, two possibilities here. Either he knew he was lying. Because
you're doing okay. Mum started a chemo Monday. I hope she does well, bro. I hope things go well, bro. Try and get cannabis oil. Helps. Cannabis oil is good. But yeah, I hope everything goes well with that. Hope all goes well.
In mind, I mean, he's I've seen pictures of him in his library. He's got all the books. Why in the world do you bring in a printout of a page unless you're deliberately messing around with it? But notice a brand new guy that until very recently most of us had never heard of. God Logic here, Avery, was able in a very short amount of time to expose Sheikh Uthman for making things up and get him to admit that he had at least made a mistake. He tried to downplay it. He's not deceptive, but very quickly got Sheikh Uthman to embarrass himself. And then even though God Logic here is showing up and saying, hey, you know, we can get along while we're investigating these things, people eventually started thugging out on him, right? Didn't they go into thug mode after this? I recall some clip about that.
So this is what I was saying as well, talking about the video earlier to do with Islam. It's like fear, dominance. That's what is the foundations, and so that's why you shall know them by their fruit, as Christ said. You can see that this is where it will result to anger, fighting, unable to articulate with the mouth, and so they fight with the fist, with the knife, with the gun. You know, so it's like savagery. It's not polite society, you know, and a sort of thing like that, it can't really blend in with polite society. It always has to be a subculture where they're reaping the benefits of being in a Western society of polite society, but meanwhile doing some other fuckery. It's really crazy thing, a really crazy place to find yourself in.
You touch me. No, don't touch me. All right, Sheikh is running. Yeah. Oh my God. Sheikh.
They're just unable. They're unable to answer. They're unable to articulate an argument. So it always ends up with stuff like this. Sadly, majority of the time, I should say. What the hell? What's up with this guy? The hell did this guy come out of?
My question.
Mentally sick. That person that come out of, you know, who just spawned into the lobby was mentally sick. Trying to earn brownie points from my homie over here. Like, you know, you will get into heaven for that, my son. Huh?